Hello, Ezra and Danita. It's Amy Peterson. I wanted to share with you just some visual explanation of some of the principles and strategies I use with Santi in sessions. Here's a little visual here of a body, kind of looks more like a turtle. And then I'll talk to kids about, this is your bumpy brain with all your information. In the front of your brain, sometimes you have different color, is your thinking brain, your decision-making brain. That's where we make our responses to things in our environment rather than like quick reactions. So, your eyes see that your class is lining up to go to gym, and it reports back to your brain, and your brain sort of, makes that choice to kind of tell your feet to line up and, prioritize what needs to happen. So a lot of times I'll work with Santi on emphasizing to keep your thinking brain in the lead when you're making choices, making sure that your brain is in the group and your body's in the group in the classroom. Also talk to Santi a lot about keeping his extra thoughts in his thought bubble. And we've worked on strategies for blurting and, keeping your thought in your thought bubble, writing it down, or squeezing your hands and taking a deep breath instead of choosing to not run that by your thinking brain, because your thinking brain would tell you, everybody else wants to give the same answer. It's not my place to just keep yelling out here. So trying to make more thoughtful responses to what we get from what we see and hear and, smell, or, what touch we get, and making a more thoughtful response here. In regards to self-regulation, I talked to Santi a lot about, throughout our day, we move through all these different zones. I think Santi lives more in like a yellow zone, a wiggly, silly kind of guy sometimes. And I think this could be a good visual for him to have in class too. Just like a simple little chart, where you can kind of gauge it to say, this is where I need you to be. This is what you're showing me. Are you showing me a really high out of control body, or are you right in the green zone where you're a good listener and ready to learn? And if you are here, what are you going to do to get yourself back down? So what really works for him are like 3 slow deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, and some finger presses or squeezing his hands. That's his favorite thing to do. I think the box breathing and the infinity breathing is a great visual for him on his desk if that's possible. But I also think if there's something something visually that you can use with him to kind of give some visual feedback of like, okay, but this is what you're showing me. This is where you are in relation to the group, right? So if you read the room, where is everybody else? Where do we need to be? And you know what? It's okay that sometimes we're here, but we need to learn how to get back to here so we can learn and have our brains in the group and our bodies in the group. So I'm thinking some sort of visual would be good for Santi to have in the classroom, just to gauge where he is in relation to the task. Or, okay, we're going outside. That's where you want to show a little bit more energy, a more racing body, because you're heading outside, to be kind of free to be you. But when we come back in, I need you here. What are you going to do to get here? And just kind of cueing him maybe before he comes in so that he has a chance to be proactive, because he does need to be co-regulated right now. He's not able to do that, recognize that on his own with his thinking brain. I think his mind and body are just moving too fast right now. But I hope this and some suggestions from previous years, I'll attach that as well. And I look forward to working with you guys even more closely. If you have more questions, I'd be happy to help. All right, thanks.